Hello. Just smelling my socks to make sure they're clean, it's that kind of a life. We are currently in the bedroom because I just showered, which is why I pushed back 5 minutes. Sorry. I was still very, very conditionered, and I was like, gotta take my time and rinse it off. Don't want it in my eyeballs, so we're putting on socks. There's a sock fetish. Yikes. Okay. Nez, hi Nez. Nez was the MVP of my life today. No cha-cha-cha tonight, sorry guys. Nez came over, she hauled ass for 2 hours on the lure, and she single-handedly cleaned out the garage for me and sorted out all the bullshit that my mom had stacked up, like bags of bags, and we put some stuff up for stooping in Queens, so thank you, Nez. Nez is a lifesaver. I already told her that, but I'm gonna say it a couple more thousand times because more and more I'm starting to realize that, like, Jesus, sorry, the curtain is just not letting me do this. My mom was really not good about asking for help or taking help when offered to her. And I'm trying to break out of that because whether or not I want to be her, I am her in a lot of ways. And even with Nez here today, like, she asked me several times, do you want me to do anything? Do you want me to help with anything? Ready to do something? And I didn't even realize this until later that, like, I just kept saying no. Not really. I kept saying that I'm, like, paralyzed and anxious and I didn't want to do anything anymore. And, like, Nez kind of just took the lead and started cleaning out the garage for me. And I feel like a lot of the times my mom probably just needed someone in her life to do that for her and just be like, no, I'm going to do this for you. And you're just going to relax and you're just going to take the help. And I feel like she never let anyone do that for her. I also feel responsible for not realizing what she needed. I feel responsible for not being the Nez in her life. And I think I always looked at her like she's an adult and she's my mom. And I always took her word as truth. And so when she said she didn't need help, I didn't offer it to her. Acquaintance of an acquaintance came by to check out the house today, and the whole visit made me feel very bad. So my high today was Nez. Thank you, Nez. And my low today was interacting with the family who came to check out the house because they were Chinese and they were very direct and they were very nosy, at least from an American standpoint. And they kept asking me how mom died, what she died of, how old she was, what was her health. It's like being badgered by what I would imagine a police interrogation to be. And at the very end, they asked about my dad, and I said I had to repeat 3 times that my parents are divorced. And I said he's not involved in this affair because my mom's wishes were for him to not be involved. And towards the end, right before I shut them off, one of them said to me, you know, there were a lot of issues that caused her death, but like you also didn't care about her enough. And and I guess it hurt too much because it was true. Like how most internet comments don't bother me, but the ones that do and the ones that I remember are the ones that I believe myself. And when he said that and then proceeded to ask even more questions about the specifics surrounding my mom's death, I just had to go ahead and say, hey, you know what? You can ask me all the questions you want about this house, but please stop asking about my mom. Because she just died last month and I can't handle this right now. So I hope you understand. And I can tell, I said this to their face. I said, I can tell that you don't like this house enough. So you can just tell me right now that you don't like this house, and that's fine. But please stop talking about my mom and asking about her. So maybe that's the last time that I deal with an acquaintance of an acquaintance as a buyer. But I told Nez I'm very racist when I say this, but I really do hate a lot of Chinese people. Especially the ones that are like, you know, freshly immigrated from China. They have those very Chinese tendencies to just like spear right through you. And this is from my standpoint as a Chinese American, a very Americanized Chinese person. It is shocking to me when that happens because I'm not used to that culture anymore. Even though I look Chinese and I speak Chinese and I can communicate with them, I don't feel of their world. So that was my low. What's everyone else's highs and lows? Oh my gosh. But hey, you know what? That was a little black dot in my day, but my day started off great. A viewer who has been helping me a shit ton, the same one who lended me the shredder, picked me up at 7:30 in the morning. We brought some blankets to the people who live underneath the bridge, some more blankets, the last of them. I just kept one, actually. I gave them all the new ones that my mom had. I kept this one. This is a blanket that I actually grew up with. I remember using this blanket like 10 years ago. So I kept it. It's pretty thin. And I kept one new blanket. Mom never even took it out of the packaging, so I just decided to keep something nice for myself. So this is like 100% cotton. It's like almost like a knitted blanket. It was $19.99 at TJ Maxx. I have these two blankets, and I'm going to just try to winter through my remaining days, maybe a couple of weeks here, bundled up in jacket and these two blankets. And I also gave them a lot of socks. I know a lot of you said that used socks are okay as long as they're clean, so I bundled up a lot of the socks Mom had. I also gave them a lot of my fuzzy socks, which are very warm in the winter, so warm that I sweat my toes off. Some sweaters. Unfortunately, me and my mom were both a little too small in sizes for them, but I just figured maybe they can use it as blankets. Who knows what they need. I gave away my green corduroy jacket yesterday because I was passing by them after visiting grandma, and one of them asked me if I had jackets, and that was the only one that was like big enough. But I feel a lot of regret today because I love that jacket so much. But it's okay. I have inherited all of mom's jackets, so I shouldn't be too greedy. Um, and then the viewer also dropped me off at my house. We dropped off 2 big boxes of stuff. And slowly but surely, this house is getting emptier and emptier. And then I made grandma some dumplings. I didn't make them. Coworkers of mom made them for her, froze them, and I boiled them off for her. Took it to her. I watched her sew some stuff together, and then I went off to Flushing, and I went to find some dried persimmons. We might taste them live on the Gastro Obscura event on Tuesday night with the New York Public Library. And then I took the bus to mom's and tried to clean up a little bit, and Naz came over and helped me clean out the garage. We found a shit ton of cables. We found a shit ton of phone jacks. We found a printer scanner copier that the box looked like shit, but it looked like my mom never even opened the packaging. I gave it away to Stooping and Queens takers. We found some battle ropes, one of which has been picked up, 2 more to go. Naz and I put out some clothing out front. A lot of them have been taken. Thanks, Naz. And we found a bag of empty Poland Spring bottles that I guess mom had kept to return the deposit for. So we hauled it off to a Key Food nearby, and we returned all the deposit, and we got $1.15. Unfortunately, the machine wouldn't take like 4 of the bottles. We could have gotten more, but we got $1.15, and then Nez gave me 85 more cents. And we got 2 yogurts with our deposit money. So thanks, Nez, and thanks, Mom. And it was Nez's first time returning bottles, so that was very exciting. Aline, your son was sad. I feel like that's taking care of him in a way that maybe he doesn't quite grasp yet. And then we came back. We started to think about eating our yogurt, and then we saw a cat in the backyard, and we were like, ooh, a cat, let's go see the cat. And Nez had cat treats on her, obviously, because we're both lovely cat ladies. And we went to try to feed the cat, but the cat scampered away and was completely beholden to the tree stump in the backyard. A tree stump that was born out of my mom's fear of a tree collapsing on the house or surrounding houses during a storm, so she had it chopped down. And we just watched the cat like prance around in the stump bushes for a couple, like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. The cat seemed really in love with that area. And I had joked that maybe mom came back as a cat, which would be like perfect for me because I would love for mom to be a cat. Although I don't know if mom would want to be a cat, you know? Nez left some treats in the yard for the cat. We didn't really see the cat eat it, but I'm sure some creature will eat it. Ooh, full body donation. Yes. Miso soup by Prime. Wow, they really have everything these days. See, Cupcake Bear, I feel like I agree with that. I'm gonna be dead. Who cares what you do with my body? And we came back. We ate our yogurts. We smashed the tapes. We smashed the camcorder tapes. Somebody came by to pick up the camcorder and the film camera, and I said, "I'm sorry, I can't give you these tapes. I didn't wipe them yet, and they have personal stuff, so I hope you can buy new tapes." Um, and then obviously without the machine, I couldn't watch the rest of the tapes. So Nez and I took a hammer, and we just smashed it. And it was kind of fun. My neighbor next door came by. She picked up a space heater that Nez found in the garage. I gave her a standing fan that I gave my mom a while ago. I'm happy that these things are finding new homes. This room is very empty. It felt therapeutic to smash those tapes, not because I was smashing them, but because I was freeing myself from the compulsion of consuming every last bit of all that remains of the memories of the past. Unfortunately, my mother was someone who kept everything, including shopping bags from probably 15 years ago. I was taking a look at the bags of bags that Nez had found. And some of them, I feel like I remember buying clothes with her from those stores when I was in fucking middle school. So it is a relief for me, especially because, aside from you guys, I guess, there is no one else that I've been able to really share these remnants with, which is really hard. Like, an example of what this feels like, I told Nez, thank you so much for cleaning out the garage, and Nez kept saying, it wasn't a big deal, it was just mostly bags and then a couple of treasures. And I said, yeah, but you don't understand, like, I've been going down to the basement every day, and I've been opening the door to the garage, and I would go into the garage, and I would, like, take a few steps, and I would just look around at all the things that I had to deal with, all the miscellany, and all the dust, and all the broken computers, and all the broken doors that my mom kept for some reason, and a rackety ladder that nobody wants to step foot on unless they want to die automatically. And I've just been like paralyzed. Every day I've managed to maybe take 2 pieces out of that garage and either trash it or put it out or put it in the e-waste bag and box that I have. And Des said to me, you know, it's probably because you've been doing this for a while now, and I haven't, and I came in, and it's just like not a big deal to me. And that's what it feels like. Because my neighbor saw, when she visited, the mess of cables that we found. Just taking up half of the living room floor. That's how many cables she had stacked. And she said, just throw it all away. Garbage is on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, just put it out. And I was like, yeah, but what if mom kept it for a reason? Like, why did she keep it? I don't know why she kept it. What if she had a reason for keeping it? Just trying to guess my mom's intentions and trying to figure out her logic and trying to know what is currently unknowable. Like, I kept thinking today, can I call Dad and ask him what these things are? Some of them he will have the answers to, but some of them he won't have the answers to. Grandma probably won't have the answer. Mom's coworkers probably won't have the answer. And the only person who has the answer is Mom, and Mom's gone. And I was thinking today how all of the sadness that I'm feeling is selfish. And all of the sadness that my dad's feeling is selfish. And that's how I first realized that all of the sadness I'm feeling is selfish, is because I'm not really sad for my mom. I mean, yes, I'm sad for her that she didn't get to enjoy life. But a lot of the immediate sadness that I'm feeling is because of what I have to deal with now in her departure, having to grapple with all these unanswerable mysteries that I'll never ever solve. And Dad is sad because he's had so much history with her and he loved her, at least at one point, for a while. And there's probably a lot of regrets in that relationship, and he probably feels responsible for her well being, which neither one of us was able to guarantee. Or I should say, none of the three of us were able to guarantee. I told the family who came to visit and see the house that there is no use in asking me about the details of my mom's death because she is dead and it is irrelevant to anyone else, or even irrelevant to her, really, because she's dead. How she died, why she died, how old she was, whatever, whatever. And the only relevant thing, really, is to take away from her death this lesson that you must take care of yourself. That is the only thing that is relevant. Because Mom didn't take care of herself as best as she could. And so I told them, please take care of yourself. Because my mom didn't, and we must learn from her that to take care of our bodies and health and self is the most important thing we should be doing right now. So, be well, and you can call me anytime if you're interested in the house. I wanted to show you guys one thing. A while ago, I found in the garage a camera that my dad gifted me when I graduated from high school. High school graduation, going off to college, my dad gifted me an Olympus point and shoot camera. That was the first camera that I ever owned, besides disposables for school projects. And he said that I should use it to take lots of pictures of college, and I should post it on Facebook, and he can basically see my life that way. And it was because of that camera and my desire to capture everything and show my dad what was going on in college that I then went on to buy a Canon Rebel XS with a 50 millimeter, 50 mm 1.8 f-stop lens, pancake, $90, very cheap. And my work study job for the rest of college was campus photographer. And it was thanks to Dad buying me that camera that I began to take photos, made some work study money off of it in college to pay off my books and stuff. And somehow, eventually, I guess, all of that amateur skill also supported me in my current work videography and photography stuff for work. And that camera takes an XD card, X as an X-ray. And I asked Aaron, do we have an XD card reader? And he was like, no, I've never even heard of an XD card. There's only SD cards. And I was like, oh, I guess there's no way to know what's on this memory card then. And thanks to Nez, who brought out all those cables from the garage, I found the charger for the battery that goes into the camera. And I charged the battery. And now the battery is kind of bloated. I'm sure this camera is like e-waste now. And the XD memory card is actually malfunctioning quite a bit. But I plugged the battery in, as hot as it is, and I put the sticky memory card in, as bad as it is, and I cleared away the malfunctioning message a couple of times, and I managed to play back the stuff that's on the memory card. I recharged the battery because the battery only lasted 20 minutes, basically, of me replaying back what's on it. And there isn't very many things on there. There's only maybe, I don't know, 10 pictures, 2 videos. 2 videos which actually play, and out of the 10 pictures, 8 of them actually seem like they were supposed to be videos, but they're not playing anymore. The image is a still, very poorly exposed. And the sounds, there are sounds, like background sounds, which makes me think that they are supposed to be videos. But I think the file is corrupted. But anyway, let's take a road trip down to downstairs. And let's see if we can get some of that footage to play one last time before I trash it. Yes, I ate dinner. I unfortunately also think that I pulled my back today. It is getting more sore. I hope it doesn't get more serious, but unfortunately, back problems. The viewer who helped me this morning was like, back problems are very common. And I was like, oh yeah, this is why. Back problems actually run in my family too, so. Solo bus, yes. This is the Olympus camera that my dad bought for me. It was very sexy, guys. Remember, I graduated in 2007 from high school. So in 2007, 14 years ago, this was hot shit, okay? Point and shoot, before all of our stupid smartphones came out and dominated all aspects of our life. This is where it was at. Look at that. Look at that shiny ass screen. Look at that screen. No optical viewfinder, all digital screen. And we got some nice little buttons on here. This is made in China. Here's the battery and memory card compartment. Okay. This is the XE memory card. And here's a charger that Nez found. And the battery is still charging, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. That battery is definitely a little bloated. I don't know if anybody wants this camera still, but I'm gonna either be throwing it away or gifting it to someone. Whoops. Power on. Look at this. You ready? Do you hear the sound? So there is sound. but it does not move. And I believe these are photos of this house when this house was new. And this is the entertainment center that I'm trying to give away, just one of the 3 parts. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it sounds like there's supposed to be video play, but I think this is a photo of me. I know my resolution is shit, but this is the archway right here. I think my mom took these photos of me. I'm sitting by the fan. That's my little black hair. I think this is really blown out, as I said, poorly exposed. Whoops. What'd I do? Oh, I clicked on menu. This is the backyard, also very blown out. But you can hear birds chirping. And here's a photo of, if I could get this to expose properly on the video camera, but it's very poorly exposed. That's Mom standing in the kitchen over the sink. Right there. Drippy sink. So maybe I keep hitting the menu. Maybe Dad took this one? But it sounds like Mom is washing something in the sink. It's really poorly exposed and unfortunately on a digital screen. There you go. You can see that better now, I think. Somebody took a flash photo. That's in the basement. We have a mirror wall in the basement. I was sitting here trying to decipher who took a flash photo, but I can't tell. Might be me, might be Dad, but I kind of feel like Mom wouldn't take this photo. And here's one of the videos. It's just a fake campfire. It looks like a video of a fake campfire. Can't really decipher what they're saying. And then this one is a video of the wall I had in my dorm room in China when I taught abroad. And I have to really talk over this because this is a Mayer Hawthorne song and we're gonna get definitely demonetized. So I'm trying to drown out the music right now, but there we go. I just muted it. These are all the drawings that the kids that I taught gave me over the year, and I just kept taping it to my wall. every time they gave me one. That's a photo of me teaching in the classroom. I have a feeling that this video was maybe taken by Mom when she came to visit me, because I don't remember having this camera on me when I was teaching there. I remember having my Canon on me and taking photos with my Canon only. So I don't see why I would have had this camera and the Canon. And I feel like Mom was probably looking at my room when she visited me there while I was teaching a class. And she just took a video of my entire wall. And here's the water cooler in the corner. There's the window. There's my bed, shelf, closet rack, door, and back to the art. I can't keep this. It's too heavy. If I could, I would smash this camera right now, but maybe there's one person who would actually want to take this camera. That took forever to read. Look at that. It takes forever to record a video. And that battery is already low battery. Wow. It also does not take great pictures in low light. And that lens cover is kind of fucked too. I don't want to keep the card either. I can't even get the battery out, it's so bloated. I think it makes me feel better to know that I tried to preserve some of this without really preserving it. Keeping everything is like wearing an extra layer of clothing. Everyone keeps telling me to keep this and keep that, and it's like there's only so many scarves you can wear until you choke yourself to death. Hi, Goat Farm. Let's go boil some water. Maybe we'll have some tea. I don't have date tea. I have hibiscus tea. Is that what you mean? Oh, no, I haven't had. And I also brought all the tea to Woodside. Sorry, I brought all the dates to Woodside, so. I think Mom put vegetable oil in this California olive oil because this is a very old bottle, and you can tell because California Olive Ranch olive oil used to be single origin, but now they're all mixed, which I don't like. But Mom has vegetable oil in here, and I'm thinking before I leave this house, I should try to fry up some of these shrimp chips. Or lobster chips, whatever these are. I feel like we should use all of this oil. I know it's bad for me, which is why I'm only using it to fry. One of these days. Do you think we can fry in the Instant Pot? Will it get hot enough? Because I don't really have any pots anymore. I also don't know how old these are. I don't even know if they're gonna fry. These might be super old. The best way to prepare loose leaf tea, I like to just put it in a jar, wait for all the tea leaves to sink, and then drink the top, and then you can strain out the bottom with a strainer. I'm definitely not gonna pressure cook the chips, guys. I'm definitely just gonna saute it. But there's also a metal bowl that people are not taking, and I might just come back, scrub it clean, and we can just try to boil oil in there, because it's stainless steel. You can definitely cook in it. It's just like a really thin layer of metal. But I think if nobody's gonna take that bowl anyway, I might as well use it. Here's a rebrew of the rose and oolong from yesterday. Yes, this is a dream catcher earring. Is this cultural appropriation too? You can thank my college self for buying it. Tea is bitter when you oversteep it. I actually really like bitter tea. Hui I don't know who you are. Do you know me in person? Hi. Yeah, I mean, let's see, I feel like a few years back we gave some shit on like a white high schooler girl who wore a Chinese teapot to prom, and I'm like, I'm not offended. Who's offended at that? But maybe dream catchers are different. I don't know. There's very many things I feel conflicted about in terms of calling out appropriation. I feel like there should be a line between appreciation and appropriation that a lot of the Libby Twitter folks don't understand. That's true. One person can't speak for all. I do sometimes put milk in my tea. I only do that for red tea, and I actually brew the red tea extremely strong so I can dilute it with the milk. I actually saw Kewpie mayo being sold for $9 in LA at a very bougie sur la table kind of establishment. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Gotcha. Hello, Instagram friends. That's true. I don't know how dream catchers are used. I just thought they were pretty. This is irresponsible, unwoke June from 10 years ago. June is still not very woke, but June is more woke than asleep. Yeah, Kewpie is a superior mayo. For those of you who are not hopping on the Kewpie train, okay, more for us. Save it for us who can appreciate it. Kewpie mayo is easy to make. How do you make it? English breakfast tea? I mean, I've made it from like tea bags. Does that count? I have not tried the yuzu Kewpie. Wow. I didn't know that existed. First of all, does Kewpie have a fish flavor? Yeah, maybe it has like a slight anchoviness to it. My necklace. This one is a cross. I think I got it at like a Francis of Assisi monastery. I believe it is called a Tau cross, T-A-U. It is wood. It has a little metal screw in it to hold it. And I don't remember, there's a significance to this. There's 3 knots. 1, 2, 3. And I think the 3 knots have meaning. Maybe they were like principles to follow in life, but I can't remember what they were. If anybody knows what these 3 knots in the necklace stand for. Yes, poverty, chastity, obedience. I believe that is it, because this is from a monastery. So those are the rules, those are the principles that they live by. Thank you, Steph. Poverty, chastity, and obedience. That's interesting. Grandma's okay. Her main dissatisfaction, which I completely understand, when she pees and poops herself, there's no one in the night to help her. So she has to take care of it herself. She's basically just like relieving herself into the diaper overnight for the most part because they're very short-staffed. Really does suck to get to an age where you have to just straight up poop yourself into a diaper. But I asked her if there's anything I can do or bring for her that is going to make it easier. I don't think there is. She's very mobile. She just can't really make the walk to the bathroom in the night on her own. She actually tried to walk out of her room once and she fell. That happened in the first week. So it's not really a nursing home, it's a rehabilitation center. There's a short-term program, which she's in right now, and there's a long-term stay program, which we're trying to transition her to. And this is my plan for her until we can get visas back to China and until she can get vaccinated because she's not vaccinated. She has physical therapy every day. They do some exercises with her upper body, her lower body. So she actually has 2 commodes at home. Those are the bedpan chairs. And the facility has told me that they're not allowed to have it because they might lead to falls, which will make them liable. So I have 2 commodes. I can ask again, but I've already asked 3 different people. Grandma speaks Mandarin, Linda. And no, nobody speaks Mandarin there. The barrier to her getting vaccinated is that she is still physically not completely healed. We tried to get her vaccinated while she was at the hospital, and obviously because she was suffering from sepsis and a kidney infection and was on antibiotics, the doctor advised against giving her that right then and there because her immune system was compromised. Holly, they don't have bedside commodes. I asked them because I have one at home that I could very easily bring to her. Well, not very easily bring to her, but I could bring to her, and I would love to bring it to her. But they told me it's not really allowed because it would lead to the patient getting up in the middle of the night without assistance and potentially leading to falls, which my grandma has already fallen. So they're already on like alert for her moving about without supervision. So that makes things a little bit more difficult. Yeah. I have a transfer bench, I have a walker, I have 1 wheelchair, I had 2 wheelchairs, somebody took a wheelchair today. Somebody's sister broke their leg, so they needed a wheelchair. They took a wheelchair away. So I have 1 wheelchair remaining. Somebody has called the shower chair, but they have not yet picked it up. Those are the things I have. I tried to call up Medicare to make sure that we own all of these things and that they're not on loan. And Medicare said that, you know, all they have on record is this provider company, which I have called, and the provider company said that the 4 things they have on record are patient owned. However, grandma has more than 4 things in the house. 3-year life expectancy for you fools who vaccinate. Cool. Maybe that's why my mom died, huh? Can't wait to join her, because this shit show of a world, I don't know. I don't really want to live to see Bezos sticking his dick all up in space. I am a science experiment. I love being a science experiment. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna stare at my tea. I don't have energy for this. It's okay. You okay, Peridot Eyes? You good, homie? Do you need a hug? Are you scared of dying? Because we're all gonna die. You got a lollipop, Jason? Holy shit, nobody gave me a fucking lollipop. I walked 3 hours to the Bronx to get my shots. Twice. Caddy, most people get very depressed watching my lives. I think it's just because I'm a very depressed person, and depression is kind of contagious. So feel free to check out at any time. I'm sorry if I made you feel worse. I'm here for me. So if it's not working for you, you can definitely tune out for the night. Well, I'm sending you a hug, Peridot Eyes. Oh, Caddy. Holly. It's whatever. It's whatever. Aaron was saying sooner or later we're all gonna get COVID. It's just gonna be the new flu, isn't it? Is anybody really turned off by slurping noises? I'm sorry, you can put me on mute. Peridot Eyes, you sound like an experiment. Never depressed? Are you a robot? Are you Jeff Bezos' new robot? Is he sicking his robots on us now? Infiltrating every single area of our lives? He probably is. Jeff. I'm having fun with the troll, you guys. Let me have some fun. Give this very sad, depressed girl her fun today, please. So I think ashwagandha, I've looked into it. It's not good for people with history of kidney disease, which I have. So Aaron actually looked into it for me because a lot of people were saying it works really well. But it does have certain side effects, especially for people with certain impaired organ systems. This is rose and oolong twice brewed. This is from last night, actually. I just used a lot of leaves and flowers, so I'm just rebrewing it. Mostly I'm just trying to drink some hot water to keep warm. Yes, this is the Milky Oolong from Harney & Sons, which I would love to go back to soon. I love treating myself to like a new tea every time I visit them. Sometimes if it's like $6 to $8, I get myself 2 because I'm a big spender, you know? I've known 0 people who have died from COVID. The only person that I know who have died from COVID is Aaron's cardiologist. Nez, Harney Trip all the time. Neopets is a great game. How did Neopets come up? The temperature at my mom's. Currently 62. Her thermostat is sex, did I just say sex? Her thermostat is set to 59. How many friends do you have? Doesn't count if you have 0 friends. I have been trying to post an Instagram post for an hour before I showered and came onto this live. I don't know why, but Instagram doesn't seem to want me to include all of my videos for today. And I had a concept for my post, but Instagram does not like my concept. You like the tops I posted on Instagram? You should come get them, please. I'm worried that nobody will take this broken ass toy. Movie recommendations, I always say Burning. I loved Burning. It's directed by a Korean director whose name I can't recall right now, but he also directed a previous movie called Poetry, which I thought was really fucking depressing, but also really fucking beautiful, and it's an emotionally heavy one to get through, but I always appreciate his movies on a whole other level. Ooh, that's good to know. Free on Tubi. Oh, I need to ask Aaron how to roll my watch back, because daylight savings has been fucking me over today. It's 10:09, but my watch currently says 11:09, and I've been very confused all day. Do we think Aaron will pick up if I call him? Oh, I called the wrong chat. Whoops. Did a real boomer. Did a real boomer. Let's see if Aaron picks up. Not picking up. I guess we can ask Google, what is this make and model? Citizen Eco Drive. I guess Aaron is too busy for me. Let's hang up. Womp womp. Oh. Hi.
Hello, I'm here with Jason. What's up? How can I help?
I'm on a live, and I'm wondering if you can help me roll my watch back to daylight savings.
Oh, it should have done that automatically.
It didn't. It didn't all day.
I honestly wouldn't be able to describe it to you. I think that's a little intricate. So look up the manual online for the Citizen AT 8010 or something like that, world time. I know it's like AT- something. But Yeah, it'll say it on the back of the watch what the what the model is. Do you see AT dash something?
I see anti-mag. Is it an anti-MAGA watch?
Anti-MAGA? Yeah. I think you just need the AT World Time Manual. I'll send you the link right now.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thanks, Aaron. So it should automatically have tuned itself into daylight savings, but all day he is not cooperating, so. Wow. It is Sunday. I know. All day it hasn't rolled back. All day I've been confused. All day I was like, what's happening? Why am I late? Why am I always late? Oh yeah, the watch might be in Arizona. That's funny. This watch is also disgusting. I have to clean it right now because I'm looking at it and it is grossing me out. Ugh. Oh, does anybody read Japanese? I've been putting this on my face because mom had it in her face care, but I've no idea what this says and I have no idea what I've been putting on my face. I've been using it as like a toner after I shower before I put on my glycerin, which is what mom uses on her face instead of oil or moisturizer. She uses straight glycerin. So if you can tell me if this is like melting my face off. Ooh. Okay. Hyaluronic thingy. Oh wow, that's fancy. I just wanted to ask you guys because you're more fun than Google Lens. Yeah, you're right. Hyaluronic acid, moisturizing ingredient, extremely run. Contains nano-sized hyaluronic acid moisturizing ingredient, no fragrance, no coloring. Thanks, y'all. Thanks to mom. There's only a little bit left, but I'm gonna use it. Yeah, I think it is a Hana Labo. That's what Google Lens just said it is. I'm sorry, I missed the suggestion. What don't I have time for? I went to grab some stuff to clean my watch with. Because it is disgusting. What am I hunting down? You know, the next thing on my to-do list is to call for the oxygen tank pickup for grandma, since grandma doesn't need it. And then I need to sell stamps, which you guys have already sent in suggestions for where to sell stamps, but I have a whole stamp collection. Oh yeah, I have been putting in the hyaluronic toner before I put the glycerin. Who played football today? Does anybody watch football? Football Sunday? Is that what Americans do? Who wants to fill me in? Who lost? Who won? Doesn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna look up how to change my clock, or my watch back, rather. I'm pretty sure that's pretty boring for y'all, but that's what I'm gonna do. In the meantime, chat amongst yourself. Daylight savings time. Okay, let's see. Is this from support.citizenwatch.com? I hope this is right. Stop the secondhand. Wait, did we spring forward? No, we sprung back. Wait, hold on. Stop the second hand by pulling the crown out to the second click. Turn the crown to set the time. Oh, that's not what I need. That's dumb. I know how to do that. $74 pages. The manual is 74 pages. Who has time for that? Okay, I think there's a YouTube video.
Round to move the mode hand to one of the radio-controlled time zones. London, New York City, Chicago, Denver, or Los. Pull the crown out one additional click. The second hand will rotate to the daylight savings time set in.
Oh. I fast forwarded too much.
Now, pull the crown out one additional click. Will rotate to the time-controlled time zones. London, New York City, Chicago, Denver, or Los Angeles. The hands and date will rotate to the time set in memory for the chosen time zone. Now, pull the crown out one additional click. The second hand will rotate to the daylight savings time set in memory. Press and release the upper right button to turn daylight savings time on or off.
Huh. Okay. Trying this. Pull it out. That didn't work. Watch me break this watch. That didn't do anything.
Press and release the lower right button. The second, minute, and hour hands will move, indicating the time may be set. Right button.
Okay, maybe let's just...
First, pull the crown out one click.
Oh my god. Why is it so hard? It's because I'm impatient.
First, pull the crown out one click. Rotate the crown to move the mode hand to one of the radio-controlled time zones. London, New York City, Chicago, Denver.
This is definitely a different watch.
The hands and date will rotate to the time set in memory for the chosen
Okay,
time
hold
zone.
on. I was looking up a different watch, that's why. AT9751. No. No results found. All right. That was dumb. It's gotta be easier than this though, right? Is daylight savings on or off, guys? Are we on or off? Okay. Okay. Cool. Did that do anything? No. The fuck? What? Do something. It's just all it's doing is spinning. I'm looking for the second hand. There's an on and an off. I'm like, are we on? Or are we off? On? Or off? Throw it away. You know what? I give up. Atta girl. When life is too hard, just give up. I thought about something else that I wanted to do. Oh, yes. I've decided that we are trashing this. Say goodbye to this. by Langen, which is best before 2016. It has root dyer's woad, what the fuck that is, Franchit ground cherry calyx, and glucose. I want to show you guys this cool book that Nez found in the garage. All right, kids, can anybody tell me what this is? I don't think it's CCP propaganda. I think it's if any propaganda, I think it's for the protests against the CCP. Democracy versus Autocracy, a live record. This is from the contents. A call for unity against turmoil. Demonstration on April 27th. Intellectuals become the ally of students. May 16th statement. My daughter in Tiananmen Square. Deng's June 9 speech. We faced rebellious clique and dregs of society. Wu Kaixi's speech. High point of China's democratic movement, 1989. Democracy versus Autocracy, a live record. Penned by T.K. Tong, professor and chairman, Department of Asian Studies at the City College of the City University of New York. From April 15th to June 4th, 1989, Chinese students in Beijing conducted a pro-democracy movement at the Tiananmen Square, which started with an orderly and peaceful parade but ended with a bloody crackdown by their government. Although the demonstration lasted only a few weeks, the youthful demonstrators and the senior bureaucrats in the government have each created a historical landmark, one of heroism, the other brutality, both unprecedented in China's long past. Student demonstration is nothing new in Chinese history. During a long period of 2,000 years, whenever the nation was facing a severe crisis, it was always the students who would come forth to meet the national challenge ahead of the rest of the population. Fun fact, my mom was pregnant with me on the June 4th, 1989 protests. And I don't know how true this is, but I believe she was on scene when they started gunning the students down, and she fainted. So that might explain some of why I'm so weird. Let's see if we get demonetized for this shit, huh? Picture time, guys. I'm gonna flip to the pictures because we love pictures. Words are boring, but pictures are fun. Beijing University student Wang Dan Center talks to students gathering in a pavilion on the Beijing University campus for Democracy Salon. To his right stands Li Shuxian, wife of China's most famous dissident Fang Lizhi. The school authorities have prohibited the meeting. April 5th. Alright, Linda, you can peace out. Ain't nobody keeping you here, girl. Oh my god, YouTube is definitely in cahoots with the CCP. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course there is. Look, it's story time with June. Above, a Chinese student leader reads a list of demands to students staging a sit-in in front of Beijing's Great Hall of the People, April 18th. Right. A security guard gently tries to move a weeping young woman away from the ornate entrance to the Chinese Communist Party headquarters, Zhongnanhai. The students later tried to storm the gate, but were fought back by security, April 19th. My mom was 30 when she had me. Above, students hold aloft a banner calling for freedom and democracy enlightenment on the Martyrs Monument in Tiananmen Square, festooned with a great portrait of Hu Yaobang. I don't know who that is. Right. Students hold a sit-in in front of a living wall of police guarding Communist Party headquarters, April 20th. Good night, Michelle Diane. Students from Beijing University march in the rain around Tiananmen Square. Students hold hands as they sing the Chinese national anthem in the rain during a protest in Tiananmen Square. Students link arm in solidarity at dawn in Tiananmen Square after spending the night there in order to be on hand for memorial services for the late purged party chief Hu Yaobang. April 20th and April 21st and April 22nd. Students from Beijing University of Engineering carry a banner top reading "Democracy Bathed in Blood" as they march into Tiananmen Square early Saturday morning to join tens of thousands of other students. The students plan to spend the night in the square and wait for the funeral of Hu Yaobang later in the day. Students at Beijing Normal University march on campus shouting pro-democracy slogans and calling for fellow students to join them in boycotting classes. Students put up a poster at Beijing University announcing support for a class boycott being organized by student leaders at several universities, April 22nd to April 23rd. Democracy bathed in blood, huh? Students of Beijing Normal University stand listening to a student broadcast of a Voice of America news program from loudspeakers set up in a tree by physics students on campus. Many Chinese students rely on Voice of America for the uncensored truth. Students march on the Beijing Normal University campus shouting, "Boycott class." Students at the Political Science and Law College look down from a banner bedecked balcony on a student press conference. Let's go, physics students. Let's go. Yo, peanut butter during story time? Hell yeah. There are some women here, but yeah, you're right, not a lot. There are some women here. It's hard to tell. They all have that kind of 80s haircut. Overwhelmingly men. Definitely. As you can see here. Chinese students, some 5,000 strong, applaud a speaker during a pro-democracy rally at Beijing University. The students called for the ouster of Chinese Premier Li Peng. One of the additions Tuesday to the many posters up at Beijing University was this slogan from American Revolution written on a bedsheet. Give me liberty, or you know the rest. I don't think many people who live in China know about June 4th anymore. April 25th through April 26th. A student at Beijing University points to a map of Thursday's march route on a poster up on campus Friday as he recounts a tale of how marchers pushed through police lines on their way to Tiananmen Square. The students are demanding the government recognize their independent student unions or they will march in force on May 4th. This is from April 28th to May 2nd. I don't think China will have a large pro-democracy movement again. What is there to gain? People don't know what democracy is. I mean, hell, do Americans know what democracy is? May 4th and May 3rd. Honestly, democracy is an idea like many other ideas. I don't really know if democracy works. Tens of thousands student demonstrators arrived at Tiananmen Square after the 20 kilometers march from their campus. How long is 20 kilometers? A red flag waves at the head of the Beijing University group soon after leaving their campus, calling for freedom, democracy. Tens of thousands of students marched towards the square. This is May 4th. I would love to switch to the international system. Yo, it's so dumb here. Chinese police try in vain to contain a huge crowd of student marchers. A sea of red flags fly above students during a pro-reform demonstration in Tiananmen Square, May 4th. How's the playback resolution today, guys? Is it better? Is it clearer than yesterday's? Because yesterday's was like the shittiest molding potato ever. Good. I'm glad, because these photos are amazing. Wait, I skipped a page. Don't want to skip a page. Students carry a banner reading, "Hello, Mr. Democracy." They shout with joy after breaking through a police blockade. Hello, Mr. Democracy. A passing bicyclist makes a donation to students during the pro-reform demonstration. Student activists from Beijing University carry a banner decorated with shoes and a belt asking police not to kick or beat the students on their pro-reform march. Shoes and belt. About 7,000 students of Beijing Normal University, including several local university students, marched to Tiananmen. A Chinese student waves a red flag and cheers his comrades from the back of a tricycle in front of Xinhua News Agency during a student bicycle protest. I mean, knowing who my dad is, the CCP probably has eyes on my entire family if they want to, if they care. You can have a pee break. Go pee. I'll wait for everybody for approximately 1.5 minutes. You can have a pee break. Everybody was telling me not to squander my mom's financial wealth and to try to maximize the price of this house. But I think in this year, what I heard Mom doing most of was speaking out against the CCP. She got banned on several platforms for writing out critical pieces. And so maybe Mom died both under stress and trying to save money for no reason at all, but also burning out with anger against the CCP. And there is a lot to be angry about. The people who came to look at the house today was telling me how one of them had met my mom before once, and he was saying how Mom was telling him about her anti-CCP stance. And then he asked me, "Are you also anti-CCP?" And I said to him, "I'm anti a lot of things. I'm anti all the things that oppress us. And that includes various governments, and that includes money, and that includes any ideal, standard, moray, ideology that aim to hold us down, that aim to make us scared." So, They laughed at me when I said that. They were like, don't do that. And I was like, you know, I do what I want to do. Isn't the best part and the worst part of being alive the choices that you make? If I can't answer truthfully, then I certainly don't live in a country with freedom of speech or thought. And if I am in America living under the fear of what the Chinese government would do to me, then I guess I'm not out of China at all, am I? The thing about the CCP is they are extremely powerful because they control a lot of the world economy and trade. Nobody really wants to speak out against them because they make the monies and they make the world spin. But I am very dizzy. Beijing University students relax in Tiananmen Square as their hunger strike continues into its 5th day. A Beijing University student sits bound in a cardboard box as the strike for democracy continues for the 3rd day in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. The box indicates he cannot use his hands, so he cannot eat. Beijing journalists join students as they picket in Tiananmen Square. May 16th and May 17th. The banner says, "Hungry for democracy," I think. Members of the Liberation Army carry banners as they join protesters in the Beijing streets Wednesday. Their banner in the background identifies the group as the Liberation Army Logistical Department. A Beijing University student collects contributions to support the hunger strike from passers-by. The strike is now in its 4th day. Tiananmen Square is filled with thousands of student strikers and sympathizers. In the background is the Great Hall of the People. May 16th and May 17th. (1989). Beijing students relax in Tiananmen Square as their hunger strike begins the 4th day. Employees of a press bureau flash their press cards as they join student strikers for democracy. A student from Beijing University marches in a crowd of students from several universities who turned out Tuesday in support of Chinese journalists who presented a petition at All China Journalists Association in Beijing, protesting the recent firing of chief editor Qing Ben Li of the Shanghai World Economic Herald. May 9th and May 16th. Crowds on all sides leave motor traffic no place to go as democracy protesters fill the streets of Beijing Wednesday. Does that sound familiar? Medics attend to hunger strike casualties in a field hospital set up in Tiananmen Square. A striking student is given first aid by medics at a field hospital in Tiananmen Square. Medics rush a student from Tiananmen Square after he collapsed on the third day of their hunger strike. And do we have number one serial killers because we have freedom or because we have the myth of freedom? While not supplying the people with anything of use. A truck is almost buried in people as it makes its way through the crowd of thousands gathered in Tiananmen Square in a pro-democracy rally. Tiananmen Square is filled with thousands during a pro-democracy rally Wednesday. These are on May 17th. Supporters of striking students head back to Tiananmen Square Friday. The students are in their 6th day of their hunger strike. Demonstrators for democracy wave to supporters as they drive to Tiananmen Square early morning. May 18th and May 19th. Are we looking at publication information? Published by Roxine Corp, New York. Printed in Hong Kong by Magnum. Copyright 1989. Chinese English edition, first published August 1989. Editorial directors Nina Shen, Xiaoping Yang. Translation consultant Stephen Watson, art director Ravini Tong. Demonstrators parade past the Gate of Heavenly Peace and the portrait of Mao Zedong to rally in square in support of striking students. People's Liberation Army cadets join the protest. Students and police link arms to keep crowds of people, many of them relatives of strikers, from Tiananmen Square. Beijing police parade through Tiananmen Square, carrying banners in support of striking university students. The students are in the 6th day of their hunger strike. A Beijing policeman encourages students demonstrating for democratic reforms. Communist Party General Secretary Zhao Ziyang speaks with fasting university students in Tiananmen Square early Friday to urge them call off their hunger strike. The strike is in its 6th day, May 19th. Chinese officials speak to cable news network producer Alec Moran, write, during a live satellite transmission from Beijing Friday, when the network was ordered to stop broadcasting. CNN crews were in China to cover the Soviet-China summit, but statements by Chinese officials who declared martial law Friday said the coverage should end because the summit was over. An unidentified interpreter at left relays orders from a Chinese government official at right to CBS newsman Dan Rather to stop broadcasting from Tiananmen Square in Beijing Friday, Saturday local time. Photos taken from a TV screen in New York. Beijing youths chant as they drive to Tiananmen Square Friday to lend their enthusiastic support to striking students. Student demonstrators occupy a quiet Tiananmen Square early morning Saturday after troops were turned back by supporters' roadblocks. The gate to the Forbidden City is in the background. May 19th to May 20th. I'm glad you're liking this reading time, Carly. Students rally in Tiananmen Square on May 20th. A student reads the student list of goals in their occupation of Tiananmen Square to People's Liberation Army troops early Saturday in Beijing. The troops en route to the square were turned back by the crowds. Soldiers waved from the back of the truck as they turned back from the city. An effigy of the Statue of Liberty stands in front of the Shanghai city government offices. A convoy of soldiers is completely engulfed by demonstrators who stop the troops by blocking the road with the bus in the foreground. May 20th and May 21st. Linan, left of Du Yi Ju? Du Yi Ju? Is that Du Yi Ju? Yeah, Du Yi Ju restaurant and Yuan Chi a monk with the China Buddhist Association, received cheers from students. They have donated over $53,000 worth of food to the protesters in the square. A soldier chats with demonstrators in the southwest of Beijing. The army unit has been blocked in for 24 hours by students and demonstrators. A convoy of some 200 vehicles from the army sits idle after demonstrators block the road to Beijing. Fengtai is 15 miles southwest of Beijing. All May 21st. I don't know what enjoying my life has to do with not being sad. Workers show victory signs as they head to Tiananmen Square to support student demonstrators. Students wave fists and flags as 5 military helicopters buzz Tiananmen Square at dawn Sunday, May 21st. Salompas. A mother introduces her son to a martial law soldier on an army truck. Student demonstrators offer food to People Liberation Army troops in Fengtai near Beijing. Their convoy was stopped by roadblocks as they were en route to the capital. Students holding Tiananmen Square pass the time with a lively dance Monday morning. They have occupied the square for 9 days. May 20th, May 21st, and May 22nd. Everybody eats. I gotta look for those salumpas right now. Students sleep early Monday as the government's ultimatum to clear the square by dawn passes without incident. Students mingle between city buses that have been their home in the square for the past 10 days. Demonstrators wave victory signs from stopped buses used to block army movement in front of the Beijing Railroad Station early Monday, May 22nd. Hi, Milk Peaches. A Chinese military helicopter drops leaflets to students holding Tiananmen Square. The students face an ultimatum to abandon the square or be forced out by military. Buses are used by sympathizers to students occupying Tiananmen Square to secure the city from government troops. Buses block the exit of Tiananmen Square subway station to prevent its use by army troops to approach students. The famous portrait of Chairman Mao looking over the Tiananmen Square was splattered by paint by 2 men. Workers cover the huge portrait. Protesters come from all walks of life and all age groups as they march for freedom and democracy in the streets of Beijing. Chinese protesters ride on a car with a poster saying Chinese Premier Li Peng is on the ropes. May 23rd, 1989. I think we all wonder what happened to Tank Man. I'm pretty sure he's dead. It just depends on how swift of a death he died. A university student occupying Tiananmen Square carries his political message on a teddy bear. The characters from Top read Li Peng, turmoil, martial law. Protesters chant as they ride in a truck through the streets of Beijing. May 23rd, May 24th. The footage doesn't show the tank man being rolled over by the tanks. He was actually hauled off by two people. And the footage stopped there. So, have no hope when it comes to the CCP. Especially when you are publicly denouncing them. Students' spirits are not dampened by a downpour as they chant "Down with Li Peng" during a rally in Tiananmen Square. A group of students from South China Industrial College in Changsha, South Central China, joins Beijing University students in Tiananmen Square. May 24th, May 25th. China's power is that everything that they do is done in the darkness. If you witness it, they will be the villains. If you simply don't know, they can ride off of the benefit of the doubt with a good side dose of coercion. A student sounds off during a rally in Tiananmen Square. Tiananmen Square demonstrators view an effigy of Chinese Premier Li Peng called Li's tomb. Li ordered a student crackdown by martial law last week. I mean, certainly having Trump in office made a lot of the darkness affairs a little bit more in the light, which is why I kind of appreciated having Trump as a president, because he made transparent a lot of things that we weren't really privy to with presidents who had cabinets who were a little more intelligent and able to hide their shit. You know, now we're just, we're back to hiding our shit. They have Li Peng's name upside down. I guess they're trying to, like, wish him a death sentence of sorts. Beijing broadcasters carry blank placards placards in a protest against government censorship during a democracy rally. They joined university students who have occupied Tiananmen Square for the past 12 days. Students marched through Beijing carrying placards, saying Li Peng stepped down during a demonstration. I don't love Trump, Jacqueline. Jesus Christ. I'm just saying, I'm glad that he was our president so that we got to see all the shit that goes on. A demonstrator carries a poster depicting Premier Li Peng as Rudolf Hitler during a rally in Beijing. Wow. Students carrying a poster depicting Premier Li Peng as the Chinese Hitler. The caption on the poster says, "The new pioneer of the Third Reich." Trucks of demonstrators fill Tiananmen Square in a rally for democracy. Students holding Tiananmen Square read posters with the latest development. They are posted on a monument to the revolution. May 25th. A student entertains during an impromptu concert in Tiananmen Square. A university co-ed takes a bow after entertaining fellow students with a song. A student kicks up a dance routine as he entertains other students holding Tiananmen Square. Damn, we got some fine arts going on here. Look at that. Wow, interpretive modern dance. I want in on some of that choreography. Look at that emotion. Look at that emotion. Look at that body language. Look at the thingies and the hair. Look at the facial expression. You can't because I'm filming on a potato. But let me just tell you, man oh man, he looks like he has confusion, rage, pain, anger, contortion, and confusion. Did I say that already? A student is entangled in banners as he sleeps early Friday in Tiananmen Square. A student brushes his teeth amid the garbage in Tiananmen Square Friday morning. Medical officials have warned that poor sanitation is a danger to the health of the students who have occupied the square for 13 days. Students occupying Tiananmen Square relax in the shade of their tent during the hot afternoon. More than 80 city buses that were provided as shelter for striking students have been removed from Tiananmen Square. The one remaining bus is being used as a clinic. May 26th. Do I ever wonder how organic the protests were? I don't know. Never thought about it. The name of the book. The author, there's not really one, but it's published by Roxene Corp, Roxene. Copyright 1989. Editorial directors Nina Shen, Shen. Xiao Pingyang, HSIAO, space PING, space YAN. Students mill around Tiananmen Square during the 13th day of their strike for democracy. Beijing University students entertain their comrades holding a Tiananmen Square concert. There is none. There is no ISBN. I'm guessing because it was like published very recently after the protests. I don't know. Doesn't seem to have much tracking. I don't see any codes. This is the info page. I'm happy to... Oh, I think I got bitten. I'm happy to post this as a story on my Insta with the information page, but I don't see much. Student leader Wang Dan of Beijing University at a Saturday evening conference in Tiananmen Square announces the student call for a citywide march to happen Tuesday, after which the students would quit their occupation of the square, March 27th. Weary student protesters in Tiananmen Square listened without expression to a Saturday evening press conference at which student leaders were called for a citywide march. Students holding ID cards of their comrades line up for bread ration in Tiananmen Square. They have occupied the square for 2 weeks. Yo, check out the cheekbones on that frontline hottie. Okay, well, I'm gonna do it before I forget. I'll just... Who bit me? Did the CCP send a mosquito to bite me? Invisible? Okay, This dude has those John Mayer lips, you know what I'm talking about? It's very wrong for us to be sexually objectifying him. We don't even know where he is. A Soviet couple had their picture taken before the student tents and flags in Tiananmen Square. Tourists pose for a snapshot in front of a bus painted with political slogans. Student demonstrators carry a caricature of Premier Li Peng surrounded by tanks and helicopters and wearing a skull necklace during a march Sunday in Beijing. March 27th, March 28th. Look at these white people. Oh my god. Being real cheesy there. Oh boy. Where's all of my tiger balm? This hand is really itchy. Dude, where did I put that shit? Girl, I'm so mad at myself. Tiger bone, tiger bone. Oh yeah. Let's go with one of these sample packs. And then, yo, how do I use salumpas? How do I use it? How do I use it? Thanks for the drugs, Mom. Oh, should I use Tiger Balm on the sore back too? I want to smell like grandma. I don't know where I have the pain anymore. I'm like trying to wave around, but you know how the pain just spreads? I didn't think of putting it on my back earlier. I was like, oh, yeah, I fucked up my back. That's it. Yo, we're gonna do a double cure on this. And then I have to pee. Are you guys interested in looking through the rest of the book with me after I pee? I'm real old. See after pee. Bye. Have a good night. Does this mean I only have one bag? That's it? Is this one bag? It's whatever. Oh, there's multiple patches. 20 sheets. Yo, 20 sheets. What am I peeling? Oh, I peeled this. Which part is the medicine? The white? Is the white the medicine? Who are you? Y'all are lying to me. It's the white part. The white part's sticky. All right. Yeah, girl, it says 20 sheets. They're double. Oh, I feels it. I feels it. It's gonna be a good pee. BRB. Y'all, salompas. Feels fucking amazing. Oh yeah. Refreshing numbness is how I would describe it. Look at me just enjoying all of Mom's prepared goodies. I got some cracked fingers. She's got some lotion for me. I sprained my back like an old woman. She's got solompas. I got a little I got a little special agent mosquito bite. She's got tire balm. Mom's got everything, yo. She's got some pro-democracy documentary book. Yo. $20 Spectrum grandfathered in slow as shit internet. Mom's got us covered. Mom's got us covered. She's got a cat in the backyard for me because she knows I miss Fred. Amazing. Mom always knows how to take care of me. She's got 40 mysterious keys, you know, because who knows what doors I need to open. She's got a key for all of them. All of the doors I'll ever open. Okay. We continue onwards in our journey through 1989. Crowds of supporters cheer on students during a march for democracy. Supporters from Hong Kong join a student march for democracy. Their banner reads, "Hong Kong compatriots wholeheartedly support you." Yo, shout out to Hong Kong. Real OGs. A bystander shows her support for marching students during a rally. Did you ever think about how instrumental you were in who your mom became? I feel like she's instrumental in who I became. I never thought about it the other way around. Students listen as a strike spokesman details plans for a Sunday rally in Tiananmen Square. A man identified himself as a former political prisoner, relates his experiences to striking university students. May 8th. If you go check on my Instagram, the last 3 stories are shots of this book's details. Students picket Communist Party headquarters in Beijing calling for the ouster of Premier Li Peng. Poster in the center is a caricature of Li sitting on a tank. TV crews stand ready as they cover the student occupation of Tiananmen Square. The American networks are covering the students' strike for democratic reform on 24-hour shifts. May 28th. How much is the book selling for? I can't believe it's being sold on Amazon. Jeff, what are you doing? What are you doing? What work avoidance are we enabling June with today? The biggest work avoidance is mom dying because I'm on bereavement for close to 2 months. The second work avoiding, Nez helped me by clearing out the garage for me today. And I'm just chilling here, trying to relish a book that I found, that Nez found in the garage. Dedicated to freedom, which is an illusion, but you know, they tried. Students decorate new tents with a banner and Mao portrait in the Tiananmen Square campground. The tents were donated by a Hong Kong university. Students at Beijing Central Academy of Fine Arts put the finishing touches on the goddess of democracy modeled after the Statue of Liberty. The work on ourselves is never ending. A Beijing student gathers bamboo as they erect tents to protect them from the heat in Tiananmen Square. People pick through garbage at the base of the Martyrs Monument in Tiananmen Square Friday. Striking students have camped in the littered square for nearly 3 weeks to push for government reform. A masked protester from Beijing University leads chants making fun of the government's offer of money and loaf of bread to people willing to march in a pro-government rally. Student demonstrators tried to take a video camera away from a suspected undercover policeman Friday in front of the Beijing daily newspaper. Over 500 protesters burned copies of the paper in retaliation for anti-student articles. Yo, drama! I didn't watch the latest one. I watched like 3 minutes and I was like, I cannot watch this right now. But I will. I always watch them. Yeah, I saw it was full of meats. High quality meats. A huge crowd gathers to watch as student protesters burn copies of Beijing Daily in retaliation for anti-student articles in front of the newspaper's offices. A group of soldiers wearing combat helmets run before the Beijing train station in a massive show of force. Heat's on, y'all. Heat is on. That's June 2nd. We're getting down to the wire here. Y'all ready for this? A student pro-democracy protester flashes victory signs to the crowd as troops withdraw on the west side of the Great Hall of People near Tiananmen Square. Student organizers link arms to control a surging crowd gathered in Tiananmen Square Friday to hear Taiwanese singer Hu Te-Qian and others give speeches in support of the pro-democracy movement. Yo, check out that fashion. Check out the fashion. All right. All right. Look at those legs, girl. All right, so that's June 2nd into June 3rd. People's Liberation Army soldiers lock arms, try to march past a blockade of human wave of students outside the Great Hall of the People. Earlier, soldiers have been reported to resort to tear gas and ammunitions. A female pro-democracy protester is caught in between fellow demonstrators and helmeted PLA soldiers as thousands of students try to block 5,000 army troops from entering Tiananmen Square. A crowd gathers Saturday morning at the site of a Friday night traffic collision involving a police jeep in which 3 students died and 1 was injured, it was said. June 3rd. No, this is why my dad picked June as my name. He was also born in June. And his Chinese name has a character that is spelled much more similarly to June than my name. June is not my legal name, it is my legal alias on my citizenship papers, though. A pro-democracy demonstrator flashes a V for victory sign during a confrontation with soldiers. Students with their banner hoist a blood-stained t-shirt and parade it before thousands of PLA soldiers at the Great Hall of People. Students allege soldiers had resorted to brutality against protesters Saturday. PLA soldiers are blocked from marching towards Tiananmen Square. June 3rd. Seasons in China are similar to the East Coast of the US. really harsh, brutal winters and really fucking hot summers. Or at least I'm speaking for Beijing, where I'm from. Beijing is like intense fluctuations. A student-built display of arms captured from troops who attempted to march towards Tiananmen Square is displayed on top of a military bus gathering a huge crowd. A student from Beijing Normal University reads a pro-democracy statement to Chinese troops trapped by Beijing residents after being stopped on their way towards Tiananmen Square. A student demonstrator holds a rifle that was taken from the army out of a bus window. Chinese troops armed with automatic weapons moved past civilians in Tiananmen Square early Sunday in this photo broadcast on CBS Evening News Saturday, June 4th. Pro-democracy protesters link arms to hold back angry crowds from chasing a retreating group of soldiers near the Great Hall of People. Protesters were angered by an earlier attack upon students and citizens using tear gas and truncheons. What are truncheons? I have no idea what truncheons are. I mean, it is all propaganda. It just depends on whose side you are. I don't deny that this is propaganda. I'm just saying. One side suffered a little more casualties than the other. 1989, Doc. Yes, Tiananmen Square is very censored. A worker is helped through the crowd at Tiananmen Square after being bloodied in a clash with police outside the Great Hall of the People. The army helmet he is carrying fell off a soldier during the melee. Student protesters put a barricade in front of a burning armored personnel carrier that ran through student lines June 4th. Many were injured during an army attack. I think even if the CCP does not blacklist us and demonetize this video, I'm sure these images will get us demonetized. So if you are weary of blood, I'm just letting you know, there is blood in this next image. He is not dead, but he is very bloodied. Oh, I think I need another Salompas patch on the other side of my back now. Is there any medication on the green thing? Let me just rub it. Can I just rub it? Let me rub it. Rub it, rub it up. Ah, you know what? Treat myself. Let's go. Treat myself to Salompas. I don't know, maybe my channel will get demonetized. Who knows? I don't know how Salompas work, but it feels fucking amazing. It feels minty, mentholy, eucalyptusy. It smells like winter fresh gum. Now I can smell like winter fresh gum. Oh, it's lidocaine? Adults and children 12 years of age, clean and dry affected area, remove from backing film, and apply not more than 3 times daily for 7 days. Remove from the skin after at most 8 hours application. So the active ingredients in here is methylsalicylate, camphor, menthol, tocopherol acetate. Is one of those lidocaine? Beijing citizens yell oaths against the Chinese government as they surround the body of a man who died when an armored personnel carrier on its way to Tiananmen Square crashed through a troop convoy. The troops had been stopped by the crowd late June 4th. A rickshaw driver fiercely paddled the wounded people with the help of bystanders to a nearby hospital. Soldiers again fired hundreds of rounds towards angry crowds gathered outside Tiananmen Square. There is a dead body in this next one. Shall I cover it up a little bit? Maybe just a little bit. It's pretty intense. People died. People died. Lots of people died. That's a fact. Beijing citizens help remove an injured student from Tiananmen Square following a clash with Chinese army troops. 10 armed soldiers beating a student to death in Tiananmen Square during the massacre. You can't really see him being beaten to death. It's very blurry. And it is also like a black and white yellowish photo. Shit gets real. Tiananmen Square and the area of Chang'an Boulevard in front of it was an armed camp after more than 200 tanks came into the city overnight, June 5th. A motorcyclist sweeps past a burning vehicle set ablaze Monday afternoon by enraged people following Sunday's pre-dawn massacre. So this is June 5th. Dude's just chilling on his bike while shit goes up in flames. A couple on a bicycle take cover underneath a bridge on which China's People's Liberation Army tanks hold positions. A crowd of Chinese opens hole to give a busload of foreign tourists a view of a dead body Monday morning, victim of the first night of violence as PLA troops shot their way into Tiananmen Square. Without a source of reliable news, Beijing residents, like these men looking down the street at tanks on Chang'an Boulevard, rely on small groups gathering in the streets or in the workshops spreading gossip and rumors for their information about the desperate situation in their city. June 5th to June 6th. This is a famous photo. This is an amazing photo. The composition on this, holy crap. Look at that composition. This photo is a whole ass meal, right? That's what the kids say now. Dead bodies, victims of the last 2 days of violence in Beijing, lay in a makeshift morgue at the Post and Telecommunications Hospital in western Beijing. Relatives and friends covering their noses against the stench try to identify the dead at Fuxing Hospital in western Beijing. Relatives outside Beijing's Post and Telecommunications Hospital Monday mourned the death of a Beijing University student killed during the last 2 days of violence. June 5th. Grief all looks the same all the world round, huh? A People's Liberation Army tank crashes through a barricade of burned buses Monday afternoon on Chang'an Boulevard in front of the Beijing Hotel, June 6th. Residents came out to the street to wave and welcome troops that is, quote, loyal to the moderate leadership Tuesday night. There is confirmed reports of fighting between moderate troops against the hardliners troops. Ian Satin, first secretary at the British Embassy in Beijing, looks for the owners of several passports belonging to members of a group of 105 students studying in Beijing who Tuesday night boarded a plane to Hong Kong. Some people from England and Hong Kong compare seat assignments at the Beijing airport Tuesday before they board a special flight chartered by the British government to help British and Commonwealth citizens who want to leave Beijing. June 6th. A senior army officer in white t-shirt addresses a group of soldiers behind a tank. Soldiers guarding Tiananmen Square hunker down behind barricades Tuesday morning while heavy artillery looms in the background under the portrait of Chairman Mao. Hundreds of Beijing residents line up hoping to have natural gas bottles filled, but the fuel supplies have been cut because major transport arteries are cut due to the unrest in the capital. Protesters and soldiers exchanged rocks during Sunday's street battle in Sichuan provincial capital of Chengdu, central China. Tens of thousands of people reportedly staged a protest in the city. A group of Beijing residents display a photo of victims of the violent attack on Tiananmen Square, which they had been showing amongst themselves Wednesday. The officially run Chinese media has but shut down during the crisis, and people gathered by the thousands in the streets for the news of events in their city. June 7th, June 9th. Chinese troops keep sharp eyes out as their trucks makes a momentary stop on Chang'an Boulevard. Two people hiding beneath a car as a military truck passed by. Crowds of curious Beijing residents gather to look at the military hardware in Tiananmen Square Wednesday. PLA troops guard an intersection in central Beijing. Who's getting sleepy? I am. The story time. So soothing, isn't it? What a great pre-bedtime story time. PLA truck full of troops moves east down Chang'an Boulevard at the head of a column of several hundred trucks broadcasting the message to residents. People's Liberation Army loves the people. Wednesday morning in Beijing, very soon after, troops in succeeding trucks began firing indiscriminately in the air and into the foreign diplomatic compound from which this photo was taken. An armored personnel carrier races west past tanks strategically positioned at a major intersection in eastern Beijing morning. Two women stand on the upper balcony of a foreign diplomatic apartment building Thursday that was riddled by machine gun fire Wednesday by Chinese troops who claim they were shot at by a sniper. Bullet holes can be seen on the lower balcony. Is this what happened to Fred Hampton? Fired by Chinese troops who claim they were shot at by a sniper. Bullet holes can be seen on the lower balcony, riddled by machine gun fire. Beijing residents watch as an army convoy, several hundred trucks long, brings supplies in from the east to the troops who continue to occupy central Beijing. June 7th into June 8th. Fang Lizhi, astrophysicist and China's most famous dissident, has been allowed to take refuge in the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, a State Department spokesman in Washington announced Tuesday. Hardliners have blamed Fang for instigating the China's student democracy movement. This photo was taken June 3rd. People walk across a ground-level crossing in front of a freight train near Shanghai Station Thursday. 6 people were run over by a Beijing to Shanghai passenger train Tuesday night when the train plowed into a group of protesters sitting on the railway track seen at left. Jesus. The protesters later burned down some of the 13 cars. Chinese soldiers Friday clean up the debris from several days of rioting against martial law in the streets of Beijing, June 9th. Senior leader Deng Xiaoping is shown on Chinese television Friday night when he appeared speaking in the Great Hall of the People to thank the troops for crushing the student movement. Beijing city workers removed barricades from Chang'an Boulevard that were used by democracy demonstrators to block troop movement last week. The barricades were crushed by PLA troops in tanks and APCs as they entered the city. Bicyclists paddle through the ruins of last week's battle between the PLA and the students. This scene is some 3 miles from the square. College students and citizens marched back street in Shanghai after holding a rally in front of Shanghai police station Saturday against the arrest Friday of 9 workers who attempted to organize a new illegal labor union. Why is it illegal though? I also skipped a page, I'm sorry, I'll flip back to it, but I won't read the captions. I think we're all getting sleepy. PLA tank guard the Gate of Heavenly Peace in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. PLA soldiers searched the luggage of a civilian near Beijing Station Saturday. The young man was detained by the troops and taken to a nearby military tent. Soldiers continue to search for students suspected of participating in recent democracy rallies. PLA soldier stands guard in front of China's only Western fast food restaurant near Tiananmen Square. Gonna plug you guys in. Whoops. My bad. Any guesses on what the only fast food restaurant is? It's KFC. KFC's big in China, okay? I remember eating KFC with mom before I ate McDonald's with mom. Burned out military vehicles are piled in front of the military museum. Newspaper vendors have reappeared on Beijing streets after an absence following last week's massacre. A street sweeper cleans around a burnt out Beijing city truck. Or bus, rather. City bus. We love our fried chicken. Just me, or is Popeyes like really fucking salty? I feel like Popeyes always salty. A captive of the PLA who was arrested following recent demonstrations is shown handcuffed to a tree in this photo from Chinese television Sunday. Soldiers round up students suspected of involvement in demonstrations in this photo from Chinese television broadcast on Saturday. China television announces more arrests of dissidents that are suspected of involvement. I remember eating Popeye's biscuits and I was like, what is this salt brick? Get it away from me. A wall of tanks and APCs greet bicycle commuters near Tiananmen Square. Armed Chinese soldiers took positions outside the U.S. Embassy in Beijing Wednesday as the visa section opened for the first time since the Tiananmen incident. Several hundred Chinese citizens line up in front of the U.S. Embassy for visa applications, June 13th and 14th. Beijing city workers scrubbed the Martyrs Monument in Tiananmen Square. The monument was the rallying point for students during their demonstration. Scrub it clean of all evidence. My dad came here before my mom and I did. My mom and I came in 1997. We couldn't get visas for a while. We were denied several times. I was just remembering this morning about how one of my childhood memories is my mom and I getting denied our visa, and she had placed me on the ledge of the window where you apply for the visa, and I think she was denied the visa and she was so angry and huffy and puffy. I remember like her just like snatching me off the ledge, carrying me, and just like stomping away. And obviously at the time I didn't know what was going on because I was so young. But I was just like, what's wrong, Mom? Workers were paraded before the public as shown on Chinese television with placards describing their crimes hung around their necks. Picture from Chinese television shows one of the 3 men a Shanghai court sentenced to death Thursday for torching a train in anti-government riots. They are the first announced execution orders of the nationwide crackdown on dissidents. Chinese national TV reported Thursday Shanghai court sentenced to death to 3 men in anti-government riot of June 6th. They are 2 of the 3. Supporters of Beijing student protesters staged their own demonstration at the Chinese consulate in LA. About 1,000 people gathered to show their support for the students and their displeasure with the recent government action. A Hong Kong Chinese student holds an identification banner before the Eiffel Tower. He and other students demonstrated along with French. He's holding a sign that says Les étudiants de Hong Kong. And then the other one says 民主万岁, basically long live democracy, no killing, and 自由万岁, freedom, long live freedom. We shall overcome, 神爱中华, God loves China, I guess. 主必得胜, I think. I'm kind of illiterate. Stop Chinese Nazis. Mr. Bush and all the Western nations something actions. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Whoops, I just ripped the page a little. Demonstrators line up outside the Chinese embassy in Washington. Demonstrators were protesting the killing of students in China by government troops. Chinese students living in Japan carry banners and a placard depicting China's Premier Li Peng as a new Nazi leader during the demonstration in Tokyo. About 3,000 Chinese students who gathered from all over Japan took part in the demonstration. Chinese students gather in front of the Consulate General's Office of China in New York to support pro-democracy student protesters in Beijing. About 150 of 300 Chinese students at Moscow State University demonstrated near the Chinese embassy to support student protesters in Beijing. The sign in the middle reads, "Against bureaucracy and corruption." The sign at right reads, "For reform." Part of an estimated 1,000 protesters yell and hold up signs outside the People's Republic of China consulate in San Francisco. The protest was in support of the students in Beijing. Some of the Hong Kong students start a rally at a downtown park to voice their support. Chinese residents in the Philippines hold a demonstration near the Chinese embassy in Manila to express their solidarity with protesting students in Beijing. Hi, Donna. found a book about the June 4th protests in 1989 in my garage, and we're just reading through it. Chinese students from the University of Miami, Florida, Atlantic University, and Florida International University take part in a peaceful march in Miami. The students were marching to show support. A member of Boston's Chinese community tosses a flower in remembrance for the people who died struggling for democracy in Beijing at a memorial service held in Boston. Service was held at the site of the 1770 Boston Massacre. I don't know about the 1770 Boston Massacre. This is why I didn't do great in history, y'all. Anybody wants to tell me a summary? 100 words or less? Thousands of Chinese students and British supporters turned their backs on the Chinese embassy in London in a symbol of protest against the massacre in Beijing. The demonstrators, estimated by police to number at least 5,000, moved off behind a 40-foot banner proclaiming "Condemn the murderous government in China." Premier Li Huan places flowers before an altar in a Taipei park for pro-democracy demonstrators in China massacred by Chinese troops. Ah, yes. A lovely misunderstanding with guns. Whoops. That's it. We reached the end. Yay. We did it. The inside covers are just massive crowds. Grayed out. Is it History 101 or Propaganda 101? Moral of the story, Jollibee is the best chicken. And, if you dedicate yourself to freedom, you will fucking die. And Salompas is the bomb. You're right. Guys, don't die for freedom. It's just an idea. Ain't no freedom to grab and eat. You can eat chicken though. And we highly recommend Jollibees. Just waiting for my sponsorships to drop into my lap one day, you know? And then I can turn them down and say, do you want to sponsor my alpaca farm? Also, this smells so good. How are you guys feeling? Thank you for sticking with me through this disastrous tragedy of a story time. I hope y'all enjoyed this garage find. Thank you, Nez, once again for carrying me through this very interesting Sunday. And who knows what tomorrow will bring. But on Tuesday night, I have the Gastro Obscura event. It's a Zoom event, free for all, in partnership with the New York Public Library. So I will probably be posting that on my Instagram tomorrow, if I can remember. I'm probably gonna do that from Woodside because Mom's internet can be a little unreliable and I really would hate to look like a potato for 2 hours. But it will be between 6:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Tuesday night, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know about daylight savings anymore. So if you want to join, I'm going to be learning a lot about different kinds of foods across the world and just chatting about food. And we might snack on interesting things. Who knows? Okay, good night.